Now we're going to talk about graphing hyperbolas centered at the origin. So first, determine which of the standard forms applies to the given equation. Use the standard form identified in step 1 to determine the position of the transverse axis, coordinates of the vertices, covertices, and foci, and the equations of the asymptotes. So if you have the x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared version equals 1, then your transverse axis is on the x-axis. Coordinate of the vertices are plus or minus a comma 0. Coordinate of the covertices are 0 comma plus or minus b. Coordinate of the foci are plus or minus c comma 0. And your equation for the asymptotes are y equals plus or minus b over ax. If you have the form y squared, that should have been over here. And maybe if I do this, that's what I'll do. Then the transverse axis on the y-axis, the coordinates of the vertices are 0 plus or minus a. Coordinates of the covertices are plus or minus b 0. Coordinates of the foci is 0 plus or minus c. In both cases, your vertices and foci are on the same axis. And the equation of the asymptotes are y equals plus or minus a over bx. And just again note that a is under the y part, where earlier b was under the y part. So it's always what's under the y over what's under the x, the square root of those. And then solve for the coordinates of the foci using the equation c equals plus or minus square root of a squared over b plus b squared. And then plot the vertices, covertices, foci, and asymptotes. Okay. I may just messed everything up when I hit space. So let me drag this back up if I can. Yeah, let me do this. Does this fix it? That does fix it. Okay. So graph the hyperbola given by the equation y squared over 64 minus x squared over 36 equals 1. So our a squared is 64, so a must be 8. Our b squared is 36, so b must be 6. C squared is going to be a squared plus b squared, so it's 64 plus 36, which is 100. So c is the square root of 100, which is 10. So given that the y is the positive terms, that's going to be on that axis, so it's going to go up 8, excuse me, down 8. The foci are at 10 and negative 10 on the y-axis. Then you go out 6 on the x-axis, negative 6 there. And so, yes, we can graph y equals plus or minus 8 over 6x, which is y equals plus or minus 4 over 3x. You could also build the box. So the box would be this. Okay. And that would make our asymptotes look something like this. And make it steep enough, like that. So our graph would be something like this. Let me see if I got all the elements they wanted. So graph the hyperbola, identify and label the vertices, covertices, foci, and asymptotes. So we have, these are the asymptotes. Then we have, here's our center. This and this are the foci. I'll label, are these not the foci, geez. Those are the covertices. Duh, sorry about that. Covertices. And this is at 6, 0. and this is at -6, 0. And then you have our vertices here and here. And this is at 0, 8. This is at 0, -8. And then we wanted the foci. So here's foci. And down here's foci. And this is at 0, -10. And this is at 0, 10. Okay, so I think that's all the elements they wanted. I think that's it for this one. Yeah, because the next one we're going to do one not centered at the origin. So slightly different because we have the HK.